Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
I went online to become a private detective. It was a private detective school online, and I paid online. And I never heard from them again. I thought to myself, I either got ripped off, or this is my first case. This is a journalistic podcast, Shannon. We vaccinate our listeners with answers. And I'm going to keep lip-syncing the important questions until TikTok gives me a show. Shannon, how can the moon landing be real if the moon itself is fake?
That's not true, Mike.
Oh, isn't it true, Shannon? You're fake. You're a hologram.
1 in 5 New Yorkers are food insecure. What's your solution for that, Mike?
Fortune cookie. Because that's food and advice at the same time. Shannon, at least have the decency to backstab me, okay? You stab me in the front every time. Some fans can't watch the podcast because they're triggered by our sexuality. And message to those fans, we will leak a sex tape right into your mouth.
This is Mike Vecchione Investigates.
And you're not better than me. Welcome to another episode of Mike Vecchione Investigates, everybody. You're not better than us. I know some of you think you are. You're walking around on your high horse thinking you're better than us. And that's what this podcast does. It brings you right back down to earth with a fact-based assessment of what's going on right now. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Last week, we had a glaring omission, and we like to correct our wrongs on this podcast. We right our wrongs. And last week was President's Day. President's Day. So we missed President's Day, and I would like to apologize to all of our presidents for that, even the one-termers who probably don't deserve it because they failed to win a second term. So, but I mean, how could you miss President's Day? How about you're so caught up with what's going on in the world that you omit President's Day? So this is our makeup of, I'm actually glad, Shannon, that we did miss it because all the other podcasts were doing their big President's Day extravaganzas, and now everybody's going to be all presidented out, and then they're getting back to their jobs this week, and then we hit them with a post-week later President's Day celebration. So I think that without the mattress sales, it's like President's Day should really be about celebrating the leaders of our great land and not about half-off mattresses. When did these mattress people just hone in and start ruining President's Day? Get me thinking about, do I have enough support? Do I need a softer side of the bed? How about my sleep number? You know what my sleep number should be? 1776 is what I should be thinking about because that's about the presidents and about this country and about the founding of this country. And it shouldn't be, I feel like we're sleeping on the gratitude that we should have for this nation because these mattress people have honed their way in. And, I have to bring this stuff up. People don't want to hear it. They go, Mike, why are you ruining President's Day with your mattress complaints? Because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I didn't bring it up, okay? This is journalism, and it's important. So, mattress people, back off. Shannon, what do you sleep on, by the way, since we're talking about it, and we can let's get the momentum going of the podcast. What do you sleep on? What's your mattress situation, since it's now synonymous? And that's a word, that's a big word for the low-income whites who watch this show. Synonymous. Mattress sales are synonymous with President's Day now. So I'm talking about the presidents, and I want to get into patriotism and the leadership of this country. But now I have to sidetrack and go into mattresses. So what do you sleep on, Shannon? Are you happy with it?
I sleep on a memory foam mattress. The whole mattress is memory foam.
Memory foam.
It's a
It
little.
remembers your body, Shannon.
Yes.
And is your body, in fact, a wonderland, like John Mayer says?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody else has to say that about you. You can't
Right.
say it about yourself. But I think I am happy with my mattress, though. Aren't you supposed to change them after so many years? I've had it for a long time, but I think I'm happy with it.
Are you happy with memory foam?
Yeah, I like it.
Because but don't you like a mattress that kind of starts fresh every night and doesn't remember your past nightmares and you flailing around, Shannon, with the night sweats because of the trauma
Maybe
that's happened in your life?
Maybe that's why I can't sleep. Maybe I need a more forgetful
Yeah,
mattress.
memory foam. I want a mattress that just forgives, a forgiving mattress, and then you could just you get on with your life. Gives you a clean start. Are there any clean start mattresses, Shannon? Instead of one that remembers?
I'm going to look that up.
Please look it up, Shannon. And then now people are doing sleep numbers, like I said, with that 1776 bit that I just did.
Yeah.
That was pretty great. And I have a great mattress now, and I sleep. It's just so, I think it's about the contours of your body. It really knows the contours. It's like having a partner. It's more intimate, I think, than having a partner because your mattress knows every little bit of your body. And I think there's something sexy about intimacy. And our fans don't know about that, but I'm explaining it to them. There's something sexy about a mattress knowing. And then when you sleep on another mattress, is that cheating? I've stayed in a lot of hotels. Am I being mattress promiscuous by sleeping? And I have a side of the bed, and my partner, which is what I call my girlfriend, but I also call her my partner in case we are ever in the Old West. So she has her side of the bed, and I have my side of the bed. And when I'm not at home, Shannon, she sleeps on my side of the bed. And then there's a couple of nights that are kind of contentious because she really loves my side of the bed. And I'm looking at her like, are you kidding me? You need to go on your other... Because I understand like North Korea and South Korea now. Because everybody blames North Korea for testing missiles all the time, and they just do so much testing with the missiles. It's like, does it work or does it not work? It's like, we're testing them, and we keep testing them, and we're just going to keep testing them some more. And it's like, it's a lot of tests that they're doing for the missiles. Just come to a conclusion. Yes, they're good missiles, or no, they're duds. But I finally get respecting borders, North Korea and South Korea, because sometimes my partner wants to stay on my side of the bed, and it just gets contentious. It's like you're infringing on me, which is another word that our fans might not know. You're infringing on my land, on my space. I think it's about space, really, not space like outer space, which is where our fans are most of the time. But it's about having your own space. And when another person, even if it is your partner, is in your space and they're not supposed to be in your space, I think Einstein covered this with time and space continuum. If she's on my side of the bed and I'm not there during that time and she's in my space, it's not an issue. But when I come back and then she's in my space during that time, it's a time-space continuum. E equals MC squared. Get on your side of the bed. Get over to your side of the bed. And we have matching nightstands now and matching lamps. You can actually plug your phone into the lamp, which is a nice perk. And my partner got those lamps and those nightstands. So this is what happens. This is what Al-Qaeda wants us to do. They want us to start talking about mattresses, and they want us to start talking about our own space, and they want you to become enemies with your partner, and because mattresses are associated with President's Day, and you can get derailed very easily into a breakup. So I think it's just a psychological plot by the Al-Qaeda. President's Day is very special. Shannon, who's your favorite president?
Oh, no. You should have told me so I could have prepared for this. I'm not.
Shannon, it's called improvisation. All the great presidents were good at improv.
I'd have to just think of a
And-
president's name really quickly.
Shannon, you could flip a coin, and I think that you could have your answer by flipping a coin.
Here's my problem with that is after reading one of the articles that we're going to go over, I don't want to choose that president, and
Yeah.
that would be the one. Thomas Jefferson. There's
Tom
one.
Jefferson?
There's one.
TJ?
Yeah. Was he a
Yeah.
slave person too?
He was a
though?
slave
Oh.
guy, and he
Lincoln.
slept with them. Yeah, Lincoln.
I'll pick Lincoln.
Okay, you picked Lincoln. Lincoln also, I think, a villain now.
Super tall though.
He is very tall, Shannon, and he did wrestle.
There
That's
you
why I
go.
love him.
That's why I choose.
He
him, too.
wrestled, and he became a lawyer at night by candlelight, blue collar. He would also wrestle, and his wife, what was her name? Anne Rutledge. Anne Frank isn't right.
No, hold on. Sorry.
She had
Mary Todd Lincoln.
Mary Todd Lincoln. She had some problems, like some mental issues. And so he was dealing with that, having to manage her, children, a civil war. Like, that guy had a lot on his plate. Anytime I get busy, I just go, Lincoln. And, it helps to be really tall and lean, I think. Because then you don't, it's easier to move around and they, there's things that say that Lincoln might have been gay. Did you ever hear that, Shannon?
I did not. Is that because of the wrestling?
Well, no, it's not because of the wrestling, Shannon. Oh my
Sorry.
God.
I wasn't.
That was a
taking
shot.
at you.
That was a shot. But no, it wasn't because of the wrestling. It was because he slept in a bed with another man for many years. He slept in a separate room. I don't know where his wife was in all this, but the whole thing was he slept in a bed with another man. But in that day and age, they would sleep in barns, and it was not uncommon for straight men to sleep together just because of olden times.
Also, if he were trying to hide it, I feel like maybe you wouldn't be sleeping in the same bed all night.
Right. I mean, because it was common practice back then.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't know if somebody was
I see.
gay or straight. Not that it matters. We're supportive of all lifestyles. Even in the 1800s on this podcast, it's very progressive. So Lincoln is your favorite, Shannon. I don't know about Jimmy Carter just went to a he's like 91. He just went to a hospice. So that's a
sad.
little sad. Yeah, but he's 91. He's very, very old. So by now, but he hung in there for a long time. And he was a one-termer. Do you hold it against them if they're one-termers, Shannon?
Nah, you do your thing, move on,
Yeah.
do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do, move on. And he went on to Habitat for Humanity. I don't know what kind of president. I was like 5 when he was president. But he did build a lot of houses for a lot of people in need. So I will say that about Carter.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. Shannon, we were out together the other night, not to derail from President's Day. We're going to get back to it. But we were out the other night together. What was your general feeling about that, Shannon? Being out, we were out for a mutual friend's birthday.
Yes.
And you came to the comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there sitting by myself, a little bit of a loner. Okay, because it was a very sexy comedy club. And there was a lot of sexy people matriculating, if I could use that word.
Wow.
And it's a big one for our fans. 13 minutes in, we warmed you up with a couple of others, but now we use the big gun matriculating. And you come in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just waving to you like a lost child at a mall, I want to say, Shannon.
I did hear you saying my name, and I
Yeah.
just didn't think to look at somebody sitting by themselves. I thought you'd be standing somewhere, so I wasn't looking in the right spot.
I thought you were doing the thing you do online, which is choosing to ignore someone who says hello. Is there any, I wasn't creative enough about flagging you down, Shannon?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe it was that. I was like, is Shannon willfully, is Shannon playing hard to get in the friendship? I could be that Shannon's playing hard to get in the friendship.
Did you try to think of a better line to get my...
Yeah, I'm on fire. I'm on fire emotionally. Maybe that could have been it. I don't know. I waved you over. You came. You sat down. Then I went to go check on my spot because I was in a different room than you were going into. And then I came back and you were gone.
Did you?
Now,
I
Shannon,
texted
you ghosted me, and I think that that's a thing that we need to discuss. A ghosting.
Wait.
Is it because your podcast is about ghosts? And you thought it's going to end up in a fight? Are you trying to do a whole podcast move there? Are you making moves? Are you playing chess, Shannon, and I'm playing checkers?
Wait.
I know you're smarter, but it's like you're playing a different game than I'm used to.
So no, I had like a panic situation because you left, you were waiting for your food, your jacket was at the table, our friend got there, and then I was like, I don't know, should I leave his jacket?
Right.
I don't want you to lose your table though.
Yeah.
And then I was like, should I take his jacket? So I texted you, but then I figured you were on stage and probably wouldn't be able to
I was
see
on
it.
stage being magnificent. And with all of my talent, I wasn't able to get to my phone because of my talent.
So yeah, so then I asked the hostess in the front, I was like, this is Mike Vecchione stuff. What should I do? Should I take it? Should I leave it? She's like, you can leave it.
Shannon,
I'll
you asked
wash
for
it.
another female assistant?
Yes, I did.
It's like calling 911. Yes. It's like I have an emergency at my table. Should I take his coat? Should I not take his coat? His food should be coming. Did he even order?
So she did though. She said she was going to watch it.
Right.
And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you ever got your coat back. I don't know if you ever got your food.
Shannon, you didn't follow up at all to see if I ever got my coat
I feel
back?
like later on you would have maybe yelled at me if you didn't get your coat back.
Shannon, I'm not Lewis. I would have calmly sent you a text, Shannon, where the F is my coat? And don't lie to me about it.
So but you did get it back.
I did get it because you had to get seated.
Yes.
Okay. So you went down, you got seated. I came back and I had a steak, which was very, very good. I had a good steak, and then I went down and I did my performance.
Which was great.
And Shannon, could you use another word besides great for our fans who are not familiar with my stand-up comedy and just know me as a journalist?
Hilarious.
Hilarious, and then...
very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And you hadn't heard any of the jokes, Shannon?
Actually, most of them were. I was, because usually I feel like I kind of know where you're going to go with something because of this show, and I've seen you do stand up so many times that I was surprised many times. You were very funny.
And it was eclectic, Shannon. Would you describe it as eclectic?
I would use that word.
Because I'm working on some bits that aren't developed yet, but I'm developing. That's where you do the development on stage, Shannon.
It was all great. I had a great time.
It was all very good. And then we said goodbye.
Yes.
Right? And you went with your friend to the after party, which was our mutual friend's birthday.
Yes.
And at Joey Rose's. Shout out to Joey Rose's, famous sandwich place our friend owns is it the East Village? Is it the Lower East Side?
I think either. I think you could use either one. I think East Village sounds better.
It's in the East Village. So, and then we went for a sandwich after party, and there were no sandwiches at this. We didn't order any sandwiches because of low carb. Well, you know what, Shannon? We did say when we got there that you could eat the bread and I could eat the meat, and we could share a sandwich. I would eat the lunch meat, you would eat the bread, because we're on opposite diets. Isn't it more convenient to be with somebody you're on the opposite diet with?
Yes.
Like if you're not eating meat and I'm not eating sugar, we could just order a meal and split it every meal.
Save so much money.
Save so much money. God. Is that what a relationship should be? Just out of convenience and savings?
That's a great idea.
It is a good
Less
idea.
Less fights.
It makes things work. It's less fights. Everybody wins. And you have to cooperate in order to make that happen. Not like when somebody wants to stay on your side of the bed when it's clearly not their time. President's Day, Shannon, how'd you celebrate?
I worked. That's it. In honor of the presidents, though, I went to work.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Mount Rushmore?
No, I have not.
I have, and it is breathtaking. It's really something. It's pretty great. And it's a mountain, but the presidents' faces are carved into it.
I'm familiar with the concept.
Well, we were at Joey Rose's, and You did not stay very long, Shannon, and why is that? Can you explain to the fans?
Yeah. So at the comedy show, we ordered, my friend and I had like maybe 3, maybe 4 drinks. And I drink the same thing. I drink vodka and club soda. All the way at the end, after we paid our bill, the waitress came over and she just gave just me another drink. And I haven't been able to solve the mystery of why or who it came from or what, because it wasn't the drink that I was drinking. It was tequila and club soda.
Right.
Which this one extra, I was perfectly fine until that drink came. And when that drink came, I felt bad till I not at least drink half of it. And that's what kind of pushed me into drunk category.
Pushed you over the edge,
Yes,
Shannon.
yeah.
Drunk Shannon.
Yeah. But not
Maybe it was
fun.
somebody whose coat you didn't wash.
Was it you?
Well, no, it could have been the coat was our son, and you just left him. And you figured somebody else would watch him, but you weren't really that concerned with him. And then I came back to do co-parenting, and I got it back, and then I sent you a malicious drink.
Oh, that you knew would ruin.
That I knew would
night.
ruin your night, yes. Do you think that's possible as a, since we're looking for leads?
Yes, I guess that's possible.
That's a possible theory, Shannon.
Yes.
The other theory is that a mystery man, because you looked very pretty,
Thank you.
was turned on and decided to send you a drink since he knows you just hate regular hellos.
But why wouldn't he have told the waitress to be like, oh, this is from like Point at
Because
whatever
maybe
guy.
he's playing the long game, Shannon.
Oh,
because
wow.
he knows you don't like the traditional, I sent you a drink, I'm saying hello. How about I send you a drink and then in 3 weeks or 3 years, I get back a hold of you then?
That's creepy a little bit.
Is it creepy now, Shannon?
Yeah.
Or is it, you have a fine line between creepy and imaginative?
Yes, I do.
It is a fine line.
In order for that to have worked, at some point in the night, he would have had to have revealed himself. And we did hang out for a little bit after the show. So if it were somebody, they could have been like, oh, I sent you that drink that ruined your night.
Oh, Shannon, why does every potential date have to be the Masked Singer? When will he reveal himself, Shannon? Oh, my God. I love it, though. So you had a great time, but it took you the hangover. What did you do for the hangover?
Oh, God. It was so bad.
First of all, what was your eyes flutter open the next day?
Yeah.
And what happens then?
Well, because as you know, I'm already a bad sleeper.
Yeah.
And so I went home, I slept a couple hours. Then when I woke up, it was, 3 or 4 in the morning.
Right.
I poured myself a liquid IV, which is like a hangover cure thing.
Wow. That's for athletes, right?
I think, yeah, athletes can use it. There's like a lot of electrolytes in it.
Yes.
So I took that because I already was feeling shitty.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me take this now. But it was so far beyond that, because after the tequila drink at the comedy club at Joey Rose's, I had one more drink.
Oh, yeah, Shannon. After party.
When am I going to stand there with not a drink in
Right.
my hand? And yeah, but I just couldn't. I thought maybe I could rally, but I just couldn't pull myself back from it. But the next day, I had work to do still too. And I just kept trying to like drink a lot of water. I took a nap in the middle of the day. But even today, now 2 days later, I'm not 100% still.
But what about the electrolytes? Didn't they help?
I guess not. Or I guess maybe it was like, maybe I needed to take more than just one of those.
Did you take ibuprofen also?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you got to do that.
It was bad.
You got to do that. You got to look at me giving the advice. But yeah, you got to drink it up. You got to replenish your system. So it's been rough. Were you cursing me?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't like throwing up. I didn't have a headache. I just felt like not good.
Right.
No, I wasn't. I was happy that I went. I felt bad that we had to like leave so soon.
Well, what about your fitness class? Did you sweat it all out?
So I didn't work out yet, actually, because I went that morning. I worked
Right.
out that morning, and then tomorrow now is my next day.
Okay. Tomorrow. So you should be fine by tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to drink a lot of water tonight, and yeah, early tomorrow is my
How about a steam room, Shannon? Would you ever go to a steam room and just sweat it out?
I would. I don't know if I have ever. I would, though.
Yeah, a steam.
It's too
A
late
steam
now.
can help. Well, it's too late. Now you'll know for the next time.
Yeah. Hopefully there won't be
There won't be a next time
No
'cause you
mixing
can control
vodka
yourself.
and tequila.
Do you do anything goofy when you're drunk, Shannon, for our fans who can't stop drinking?
I mean, did I appear to be drunk to
No,
you?
you appear to be fine. I could tell you were a little slurred, but you were actually, I didn't hang out with you long enough while you were drunk in order to get your real opinions on stuff. But I do remember one birthday you were drunk, and I knew you were drunk, and it was very funny to me.
That was right. I think I know the one you're talking about because
at the cellar.
Because everybody stayed out forever that night, so there was plenty of time to really.
It was great. Then talking to you, it's great. I love not together Shannon. I love stumbling Shannon. I love it because you're so together all the time and you're so on point. So what happens when you're not?
But that's why I wanted to leave this past weekend because I felt like it. And then plus, like, I didn't know a lot of people there. Maybe like 4 or so people. Whereas that birthday you're talking about, I was there with a bunch of my friends. So I felt more comfortable.
Okay. Well, it was a great night out.
It was fun.
Shannon. So you didn't feel that comfortable at Joe's place just because you didn't know that many people?
I did, yeah. And then it's like we're also like smushed up in a corner.
Smushed?
Yes. It was just. Yeah.
Smushed up in the corner?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm glad we did it, though.
I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we had a good time. And I was going to go home. But no, I went out because Shannon was out with our mutual friend. And I said, I'm going to go meet them. And I'm going to go for this birthday. It was Mattern's birthday.
Yes.
James Mattern's birthday. So we went, we celebrated. James Mattern and myself, for those of you who have been living under a rock, used to live together. And we lived together and we survived bed bugs together. So James Mattern has a special place in my heart. I know he's a fan favorite on this network. So shout out to him. Happy birthday to him. We also saw him in Aruba. We had a great time. And that was our big night out, Shannon.
This smoke break is brought to you by YoDelta.com, the official Getting High sponsor of the Gas Digital Network.
That's fun.
And it was very fun. Okay, let's get to some articles to investigate. 26 minutes in, Shannon.
Okay. So do you want to start with the goats?
Let's start with Washington's birthday.
Okay. So why George Washington was a man of many contradictions.
Okay, so it's Washington's birthday, but they also call it President's Day. So Washington was so powerful, first president, that his birthday is also called President's Day. Pretty great. Go ahead.
So in the mid-1700s, any traveler of a certain class knew he was welcome to a bed and hot meal at George Washington's Virginia estate, Mount Vernon. But contrary to customs of the time, Washington didn't want his guests, quote, ravishing the property's slaves. As one of Major William North wrote to a friend, "Will you believe it? I have not humped a single one since I'm here."
Well, that's pretty classy because Washington was like, first of all, did he say anybody can stay?
It says that was like what was known at the time, that anybody who needed a bed could stay there.
Yeah, but how big was the United States? It was about 50 people. It was like, yeah, how about everybody in the country could crash here if you guys need to. He just sent out, I guess it was the town crier, whatever Paul Revere was. It's like, hey, anybody could stay at Washington's house anytime they want. Just you can't, and I can't stress this enough. You cannot ravish the slaves. Please have some dignity about yourselves. Was that basically the message, Shannon?
That's basically it. And then it says that one visitor who dared test Washington's resolve felt the general's wrath. An artist staying at Mount Vernon brought an assistant who tried to accost a young girl who was working in the house one morning. When she screamed, Washington came roaring out of his boudoir, his face only partially shaven and body partially clothed. He sussed out the situation, and he immediately sent the assistant flying down the stairs with one thunderous kick.
Yes. Flying down the stairs. That's what Washington was about. And I hate when that happens. I hate when I'm shaving and I'm only halfway done and someone tries to ravish a slave, and then I have to come out of my boudoir, which is what I stay in, and I have to kick their ass down a flight of stairs. Right? Little homeschooling there and it's always an artist's assistant who decides that they can't keep it in their pants and that they have to ravish a slave. It's never the artist, because they're depressed, creative, genius weirdos. It's always the artist's assistant, and they always say stuff like, I'm going to go get you some coffee. I'm ravishing a slave. And it's like just a lie. It's like, where's my coffee? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was ravishing a slave. It's like, get over yourself. You shouldn't be ravishing a slave, first of all. And second of all, where's my coffee? So it's just hard to understand that way. And so that just shows you what kind of guy Washington was, right? He put a foot in that ass.
Right. However,
what, Shannon? There's a but to this?
there is.
I'm thinking he's a good guy now. Are you about to change my mind?
Well, let's find out.
Oh, my God.
Even if he heroically defended the honor of one slave girl, it's believed he enjoyed the sexual favors of others.
Wow.
There was even a rumor that he had a secret system for rating the erotic abilities of his enslaved conquests.
Oh, my God. So he would do OnlyFans? It was Washington he did the first president and the first rating of their women's sexual proclivities? Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess that was a reality show back in his day where he would rank them, and where would he put that? I don't know. I don't know how you would even keep track of that. I mean, was the printing press invented by that time? I don't think it was.
I think
it was later.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he gave like one rose to one person each week.
Oh, you're turning it into The Bachelor now, Shannon. This is pretty sleazy, and you're trying to class it up by making it an NBC show. The Bachelor, one red rose. Oh, you weren't good in bed? Pack your suitcase. God. What else? What else, Shannon?
I don't know how this is necessarily a contradiction, but it said that he wanted children, but I get it now. Okay, so apparently it said that Martha couldn't conceive, but Martha had 4 children with her first husband.
Right.
She was a widow. And so it said the infertility likely resulted when a sexually transmitted disease rendered him infertile.
Washington had an STD, y'all. Put him on blast. That's something he probably would have wanted to keep secret. But with our media today and TikTok and our investigations, Washington probably got an STD because they would sleep with ladies of the night.
Yeah, it said that he was thought to have lost his virginity to a Cyprian dame, which is a prostitute, when he visited other ladies of the night on a youthful trip to Barbados, or by sleeping with an unknown number of the women he, quote, owned.
Wow. That blows up in your face pretty fast, doesn't it, Shannon, when you have an STD and then you can't have... He had no kids. Do you understand the irony of that for those of you at home who can't afford a computer and are just listening to this? He was the father of our country, but he could not father actual children of his own. So I'm the one to talk. I don't have kids, Shannon. How about that?
Me either.
Me either. This podcast. I have this podcast.
And your jacket.
This podcast and that jacket is our 2 kids.
Yeah.
The jacket is a boy, and the podcast hasn't made up its mind what it is yet.
Non-binary.
It's non-binary. Should Washington be on the dollar, do you think, Shannon?
It's amazing that they're allowing him to still be on the dollar,
right,
when people are fighting so much. But I'm sure he did good too.
He did some good stuff. He was the father of our country.
Right.
And it's going to really throw people at the dollar store if there's a different picture. Should we just replace him with a trans person? A lot of people think we should do that, but he did have a powdered wig and a corset, so he kind of is. He did some good things, though, Shannon. Talk to us about... We like to give an accurate depiction of history. Nobody's all bad or good. Washington did some heroic, great things. And one of them, I would like to remark, he did not go for a 3rd term. He could have had a 3rd term, and he didn't.
Is that good?
Yeah, because, I mean, these guys, you think of the time, the context. He's coming up from England, and where it's a monarchy, and they have I believe that time was divine rights of kings, which is, I'll do anything I want because I have a direct connection to God. So they're coming from that. And that's like, oh, we have a separate country now, and they fought to have a separate country. And then you can get power hungry from that. When you have the country, you're like, all right, I'm the king of this country now. But instead of that, he goes, no. Let's be mindful of what we just fought for, We just fought for, because we hated being oppressed by one king, by one man. So we're going to put together more of a republic, more of a leadership by committee. But we still, it's pretty amazing how they put it together, because the branches of government and how that came together. And the real headline of that time was federal power versus states' rights, even though they're still colonies back then. Maybe that was a different time period. I'm muddling this up all into it's getting a little muddy. At that time, maybe it was not having a monarchy versus a republic. So he chose republic versus monarchy.
Got it.
Is that a meme? Republic versus monarchy? Yes. We have to pick one?
You know what was weird, too, about the corset thing? Mm-hmm. Is that the style back then was to keep their back straight and their bellies out.
Back straight, bellies out?
Yeah.
That's just called good posture in any time, I think, Shannon.
No, but not with your belly out. You're supposed to, keep it tight.
Yeah, but with your back, doesn't your back up, I'm not a chiropractor, but doesn't your back up force your belly out?
No, but that's why you have to keep your core tight. Because right now, if a chick is wearing a corset,
right,
it sucks everything in. So it brings in your waist, it straightens your back, and then it brings your tummy in.
Isn't that organ damage?
Yes, you can.
It could do a lot of organ damage.
Yes.
These corsets, but you look hot for the time that you're alive.
That's what matters.
Wow. So he was offered. Let's table the corset thing for a second. Okay. He was offered a third term. He refused it. Any comment on that, Shannon?
Well, I after you schooling me on it, I now understand that that's a good thing.
Oh, you thought he should have took a third term like Bloomberg?
No, I just didn't understand if it mattered either way, but I get it.
It matters because the federal versus the states' rights, I think, was later on. I misspoke on that, which is something that people do now and can apologize for. So, but I think this was we don't want to make the same mistake that we just fought against. We don't want to have England. We don't want to have one absolute leader that everybody hates and just does whatever he wants. So I'm going to step down after 2 terms and then let somebody else lead. That was his biggest charm, because power is, hi, buddy. I love you too. Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
You hear this voice?
Yeah.
This is like affirmations in your head. You're beautiful.
It's affirmations in my head.
You're handsome. You're really funny. Your chest looks fucking thick today.
Well, thank you.
Your penis is bigger than you probably think it is.
No. No, it's not.
My penis is probably bigger than you think mine is, too.
I think it is, actually.
Especially because I'm looking at you right now.
Justin, if you could bring this back to President Washington, that would really help. That was Justin just stopping in for a podcast. Just like Washington, no disrespect to 2 terms. And we didn't push it for a 3rd term, and it's on the Mount Rushmore of Gas Digital. Where were we, Shannon?
I can move on to the next little fact.
Yeah, let's go.
So it says, back to his dueling sides of his personality,
yeah.
He wanted his soldiers to act with honor, banning their card playing, cursing, and even bathing naked any place they might be seen.
I mean, what are the weekends for? Card playing, cursing, bathing naked? Bathing naked, Shannon? How do you do it?
I do bathe.
You do
naked.
bathe naked?
Yes.
Do you take baths, Shannon?
I don't because, 2 things. I don't currently have a bathtub in my apartment.
Okay.
But also, I have an issue with bathtubs because they're too close to a wall.
Right.
And if there happens to be a spider or a bug or something, it can get me when I'm not paying attention.
Right.
That's why I don't like baths.
Or a spider that can swim. No. That's what you're afraid of, Shannon?
No, it could come on
Swimming
the wall.
Spider?
Sometimes you see a spider in the shower.
What about somebody murdering you in the shower?
That's another
Psycho.
thing.
That's a guy with a knife in the shower. You're completely vulnerable.
But when you're showering, because the water's coming down, there's less of a chance of a spider descending upon you from the sky.
Let's table the spider thing for a second. There's a lot of other things that can happen to you in a bad way that are not spider related. Can you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, but Washington wasn't having any of it.
No.
He was like, you should bathe with clothes on if you're going to have any honor, right?
Yeah, or just don't be in where people can see you.
Yeah, don't bathe naked, because people used to bathe naked in a lake probably all the time.
Yeah.
In this time period. And who could blame them? Privacy was probably pretty hard to come by in the 1700s.
So if the soldiers, sorry, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So if the soldiers strayed, Washington responded with absolute severity. Misbehavior could lead to severe punishments, including 1,000 lashes for deserters.
Wow.
He would also hang people.
Oh my God.
It said the general even signed the death warrants of some 14 men court-martialed and sentenced to die. So yeah, and then there's more about animals. I don't know if you want to touch on that yet.
Wow. I mean, he was really he was a rules guy. Like, they really didn't play games. Like, if you broke the rules, they would hang you or lashes is like that's the good news. It's like the best possible punishment is getting lashed, because the other alternative is being hanged. You know, when they caught John Wilkes Booth, you know, they surrounded he was like in a barn, and they by the way, I think presidential assassins should also have a day. President's Day is on a Monday, maybe Presidential Assassins Day is on a Tuesday, something to recognize.
You want to celebrate them?
No, I don't want to celebrate them. I just want to acknowledge that it's the bad part, or maybe we have it at night, the dark side of President's Day. Something symbolic, because these guys are a part of history too.
Assassin's Night.
Assassin's Night could be a alt Halloween. I don't know, but they surrounded John Wilkes Booth he was in a barn. They lit the barn on fire. They were shooting at him. He came out wounded, and then they killed him. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is they were so thorough back then. Anybody who harbored Wilkes Booth, they rounded up and had a trial for them and then hung them. And they hung them all at the same time. Anybody who let Wilkes Booth spend the night at their house or helped him in any way with money or funding or anything, they found out about them, they tried them, and then they hung them all together. Isn't that gangster, Shannon?
That's a way to say it. And
Yes.
It's a little extreme.
I mean, I don't know if it's extreme. It's like, oh, yeah, no, you're not going to play us like that.
Do you think all the people knew what he was
Yeah,
running
by
from?
that
Oh,
time, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you make choices and you live with them, I guess, right, Shannon?
Right.
Okay, give us a couple more.
Okay, the animals.
What
This
about
one I
'em?
hate the most. So there were starving canines that began overrunning the Continental Army's camps that were trying to steal their supplies.
The canines?
The
Man's best
dogs.
friend?
Yep.
Wow.
And so he told the soldiers to hang all the stray dogs. Hang them.
Oh, my God.
I hate this the most. This is why he's not my favorite president.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that at Mount Rushmore, do they? He hung all the stray dogs. But can I, and I'm not defending it, Shannon, but can I say that if all of the stray dogs are eating your supplies and you're going to be starving soon, what do? Do you call
Build
in
a fence.
Justin to train them?
Build a fence. There were fences back then, right? There's wood.
That would take a lot of man hours. Why wouldn't, could the dogs start their own country? And not try to get in all our business?
Maybe.
How tall was George Washington? I think he was like 6'2". And do you think that because Washington was 6'2", he created a free country for people 6 foot and over, the way that you probably want it, Shannon?
He was 6'2". Very good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, it's a tall man's world. And like he, until the invention of the stepladder, we were all, anybody under 6 foot was shit out of luck pretty much, in terms of reaching things.
Right. Don't they always try to make it a thing that back then everybody was so short, but these presidents are giants.
These presidents are big. I don't know where they get that from because 6'2" is he was a formidable
Yep.
man, as they say back then.
Pretty good height.
Yeah, he's a pretty good height. Did you ever see Hamilton, Shannon?
No, I did not.
Neither did I. I don't have enough Washingtons to go see Hamilton. Thank you. Wooden teeth, Shannon. Is that a turnoff?
I don't love it.
What if he brushed them every day with, I don't know, I don't know if you'd brush them. You'd sand them? Brush his teeth? Sand his teeth. Do you trust a man with fake teeth? He had one real tooth, they said.
Oh, that's something.
That is something. It's a starting point. You know, everybody always says the negative, and they're pessimists. And I'm an optimist, and I'm saying he has one real tooth. The rest of them are wood, but, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, they don't look too bad. I'm looking at his dent. Let me see if I can share it over there. These are his dentures.
Wow.
It's
that
pretty
does
good.
Look pretty bad.
It was pretty good for wood. I didn't think they'd be able to get it that realistic looking.
Well, the base, is that his gums?
No, I think I think that's maybe the wood that you like snap onto your gums.
Oh, you snap the wood onto your gums.
That's a guess.
Well, doesn't look like he's eating much meat with that grill, you know? Wouldn't, if you just had one tooth, Shannon, wouldn't you? I would make it gold.
Yeah.
To kind of celebrate it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we covered the STD. He was probably infertile because of an STD. They say Martha couldn't have children, but that was just probably propaganda. Slept with slaves, wore a corset. Martha had 4 children by another man, her first husband. It'd be great if she got divorced. She divorced her first husband, and then Washington scooped her up.
Or maybe she killed him.
Oh, that's possible. I think people killed each other all the time back in these days. And, no one was any the wiser for it.
The last thing here, and this, I don't know, have you watched Handmaid's Tale?
No.
So I just finished watching it, so it's in the front of my mind. But it says that one British visitor to Mount Vernon claimed Washington treated his slaves with more severity than any other man.
Wow.
While as president.
Wow. Because at the end of before he died in his will, didn't he free his own slaves?
Yes, that's the contradiction coming up.
Wow.
So in 1793, he signed into law the Fugitive Slave Act that allowed slave owners to pursue their fleeing, quote, property over state lines and made it a federal crime for anyone trying to help them. Upon his death in 1799, he freed all 123 slaves that personally belonged to him. It was perhaps his only saving grace as a slave owner.
Wow. I mean, it's just like really he did a lot of good things, but also a lot of bad things. It's good and bad. It's the perfect mix. Not the perfect mix. You want to be all good. But it's like a personification. That's the wrong word because a personification is when an inanimate... You give human characteristics to an inanimate object, Shannon, and this is the wrong word, personification, but it's the...
Embodiment?
Embodiment! Thank you, Shannon. You're a rock. Oh, my God. That tequila really is affecting you well right now. It's the embodiment of a human being, good and bad, in one person.
Yes.
Okay. So that is our President's Day. That was, the article on Washington was for President's Day, which was last week.
I learned a lot.
We're a day late and, dare I say, $1 short.
Wait.
Washington is on the dollar. Okay, 2 goats at Target, Shannon?
Yeah, 2 goats in Texas wander into a Target and peruse the aisles.
Are you sure it's not Florida? This sounds like something that would happen in Florida, not Texas.
It really
but
does.
But Texas is like the second Florida. It's so big and warm and crazy, and I just love it. What happened, Shannon, with these 2 goats shopping at Target? 2 goats and a canine.
Yeah, Great Dane.
Two goats and a Great Dane go shopping at Target. Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
So it said on February 8th, 2 goats and a Great Dane were seen walking down the road close by and then into the Target parking lot. Witnesses told the constable the goats and dogs wait, hold on.
Wait a second, Shannon. First of all, 2 goats and a Great Dane walk into a Target. Maybe that's how these animals celebrate President's Day? Discount shopping? More value for less money? I mean, any species could get behind that.
That's true.
Go ahead, Shannon.
So the witnesses told the constable the goats and dogs separated from each other by the time the goats entered the Target. unaccompanied by their fellow furry friends. So only the goats went inside the Target, not the Great Dane.
Of course, man's best friend knows better than to go into a store. But the goats, I mean, must have been female. Shopping. They're just shopping. And my big problem with this, Shannon, is where was the Great Dane waiting in the car for them to come? Probably a male dog. He was waiting, holding both of the goats' purses. Okay, cock. That's a kind of dog. And what happened then, Shannon?
So the constable and his team arrived on the scene in a matter of 5 minutes.
Do you think this is part of the problem that they have a constable?
Yeah,
A constable is it a gay sergeant?
Oh, I was thinking it was something like a European.
Oh, a European sergeant.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Same thing. So after the goats had been on the premises for nearly 15 minutes, it says the goats were able to get into the Target through the exterior automatic doors.
These automatic doors. How do you expect to keep goats out when you need a revolving door to keep the goats out? And then if they can figure that out, maybe they should be in the store.
That's true.
Shopping. But the constable, what is a constable, Shannon?
I don't know.
It's a low-level sheriff. I thought Texas, I think sheriff. I think Walker, Texas Ranger, I think sheriff. A constable does seem European, right? Not homosexual, which is what I said. I misspoke.
I looked it up. It says a constable is a person holding a particular office, most commonly in criminal law enforcement. So that didn't give us any information.
Right.
The office of constable can vary significantly in different jurisdictions. A constable is commonly the rank of an officer within the police, or just an officer.
He's just an officer, a constable. Do you think this is like a consequence of bail reform, Shannon, that these goats have done this before and they've gotten out and then now they're back?
Probably.
We're not able to prosecute them?
But maybe, but it says that they don't know who they belong to, and that they're most likely pets to somebody.
Right.
And
pet goats.
Yeah, and that they if they don't find the owner within 18 days, they send them off to auction or donate them to charity.
You can donate goats to charity?
I guess so.
Oh my God. Automatic doors, though. I mean, you're asking for a goat problem. Because even a disabled goat in a wheelchair could get through an automatic door. You need a revolving door. You need a revolving door to keep the goats out, you know? Does it say how the goats were, what their temperament was when they were finally arrested, thank God, by a constable, which sounds like a made-up police officer?
It just says that a citizen and an employee teamed up and corralled the goats into the entryway of the Target between the exterior entry and the doors into the store.
Shannon, have you ever been corralled when you've been to out, you know? I'm not comparing you to a goat.
You know, the closest...
But corralled is a great word, corralled. I was waving to you. I was trying to corral you over to my table.
And I wouldn't have it.
You wouldn't have it.
The closest I think I've ever felt to being corralled is in Vegas on Fremont Street.
Yes.
When there were just those billions of people. And then there were certain days where you had to like check in with your ID.
Yeah.
And I felt that was very corral-y.
Yes, it's very corral-y. And how did the goats respond to being corralled, Shannon?
It doesn't say that they were fighting or being mean.
Right.
And it said, believe it or not, those goats were well-groomed. It was clear that they were somebody's pet. So they were nice.
Yeah. Well, they're well-groomed. They were going out. So I think one thing said that the goats were being cooperative. And
yes.
I love cooperative livestock. Don't you, Shannon?
I do.
You know, and thank God they weren't sheep, because everyone would be trying to count them and then they would fall asleep.
You're right. I missed it before. It says the goats were cooperative and did not put up a fight.
Shannon, goats in Target is the headline here. Do you think the goats were sent by Walmart?
They were spying?
As a message?
Oh.
Like, stay out of our retail business?
Then they should have used like a ram with big horns to like really make a mess.
Yes. Yeah, that maybe the goats are the first step.
maybe because
to the confrontation.
They were just little sweeties.
They were just little sweet goats, well groomed. Maybe a bow tie on a goat, right? For a formal occasion. Do you think there's a misunderstanding here between livestock and in-stock because it's a retail store? We have this in-stock, and then they thought that was livestock, and they sent over goats.
I'm sorry, Justin distracted me, and I missed the right point.
That's important for the podcast that a guy who used to formerly host it is now trying to sabotage it.
It's like the goats from Walmart to Target. That's what Justin's doing.
Thank you. And also, George Washington never would have put up with that.
No.
He would have sent him down a flight of stairs for
lashings.
ravaging a slave.
Should we give Justin lashings?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should. Are goats and dogs shopping now? Could these animals have made a conscious effort to go shopping together? A dog going shopping with two goats. It sounds like a joke, Shannon, but some of these animals are very smart. And what's next? A spa day?
Aw. How cute would that be?
Were these goats arrested, Shannon? And if so, what did the shawarma taste like?
I don't like that joke.
Okay, I'm sorry, Shannon. That wasn't a vegan-friendly joke, and I apologize to all of our vegan fans out there who have no iron in their blood. What was their bail, Shannon? Did they plea bargain it down?
No bails list. I guess when they go to the auction, we'll find out.
Do you think, Shannon, I have to ask you a final thing. Was there any coupons found on any of the animals? Because they're, discount shopping?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. That's it for that story. We got all that we could out of it, and 55 minutes in. Hold on, we have... Oh, okay. Let's do plugs now, Shannon, and then we'll come back with one more story.
Okay.
Okay. I'm at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms, but the big news is we have a new time and day for our YouTube premiere. It is, Shannon, tell me again.
Wednesdays
at
6 p.m.
at
Eastern.
6 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, just in time for dinner. Wednesdays it's hump day. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. YouTube premiere. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. YouTube premiere. Lock it in. Put it on your calendar or your Google map calendar. Put it on. Put it in. Put it in, because that's when we are debuting the new Mike Vecchione Investigates. So we love you guys, and we're so happy that you join us every single week. So Wednesdays at 6 p.m., Mike Vecchione Investigates. My new special, The Attractives, comes out on YouTube March 24th. So be on the lookout for that. I have some dates, Hilarities in Cleveland, and that will be March 3rd and 4th. I love that club. It's one of my favorites. So March 3rd and 4th, Hilarities in Cleveland. The next week is Grand Rapids, Gilda's Comedy Festival in Grand Rapids, March 8th and 9th.
9th and 10th.
I want to say 9th and 10th. The week after that, I'm in Beverly, Massachusetts at Off Cabot. And the week after that, I am in Tampa, Florida at Side Splitters. That is March 30th to April 1st, Side Splitters in Tampa. So the cities coming up are Cleveland, Grand Rapids, Beverly, Massachusetts, which is outside of Boston, and Tampa, Florida, Side Splitters, which is also one of my favorite clubs. So be on the lookout for all those road dates, MikeVecchione.com for future dates, or, I always post on social media at Comic Mike V. Look for the special, push it, share it. March 24th, I'll be coming out with hopefully a series of announcements in order to get this special views. So support Mike Vecchione Investigates at Comic Mike V. special called The Attractives, March 24th, and 6 p.m. Wednesday, new premiere time for Mike Vecchione Investigates. I know that's all jumbled and thrown at you, but that's how my chaotic mind works. Shannon, what do you got?
I'm not going to put my camera on because I don't like the lighting in this spot, but you can follow me on Instagram at ShannonLee6982. Listen to my podcast, The Thing Is Ding. We talk about bad dates, fighting, and ghosts. Wherever you listen to Mike Vecchione Investigate, in addition to the YouTube live premiere, you can also watch it live for free every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern at gasdigitalnetwork.com/live. That's absolutely free. The best way to support the show is to go to gasdigitalnetwork.com, use promo code MVI. That'll give you a 1-week free trial, which gives you access to every single episode of this show we've ever done, all 101 episodes of the show, as well as every episode of every other show on the entire Gas Digital Network, all for free for 1 week, risk-free. If you have questions, comments, or your own video investigation to submit, send it into MikeVecchioneInvestigates@gmail.com. If you listen on iTunes, YouTube, wherever else you listen, make sure to rate, review, leave a comment, subscribe. Every little bit of interaction helps the show to grow. And go to podcastmerch.com for t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. That's it.
You guys are the best. All right, last one, Shannon. Teens throw party in mansion. A mansion rager.
And there's your Florida story.
That's my Florida story, Shannon?
It said Florida authorities are giving teens and young adults a chance to come clean after breaking into an $8 million home, throwing a wild house party, and posting videos on social media showing the rowdy scene.
Oh, my God. This is like a 80s movie. They just break into a home and have a rager. I love the word rager, don't you, Shannon?
It is. It seems like a good time.
It's a great time. And they were drinking and having fun. What's the catch, Shannon? Because this just sounds like a fun house party for high schoolers in the area.
Right. The catch is that it wasn't any of their houses.
What? This isn't one kid's house?
No, they just broke into somebody's house. I guess they knew they were going on vacation, and they just broke into their mansion.
They just broke into a random mansion. Can I argue for the kids for a second? Let me just argue for the kids for 1 second. If you're going to have a mansion, you got to start throwing parties. If you don't, kids are going to break in and throw parties when you're gone. Mansions are for partying, okay? So if you're going to buy a mansion, make sure you have parties every week. And if you don't, then get out of the mansion and move into a dumpster fire of an apartment. But you're not going to live in a mansion and not party, because kids will break in, as is their God-given right by George Washington. In this country, I think it's in the Constitution, Shannon. It'll break into your house and throw a what? Rager. A rager. So that's what this was. These kids were just being youthful, and these selfish mansion owners wouldn't party. They refused to party. Sounds like the mansion owners, Shannon, were nerds. And they don't like to party. So leave town and let the people who like to party, Shannon.
Before I comment on what you're saying, do you want to see some of the video?
Are you supporting my outrage?
No.
Okay, no?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to show you evidence.
Because our fans love to party, and they don't own mansions. And if you don't own a mansion and you love to party, I have the solution. Break into a mansion and get it in.
I'm going to show you evidence after the video of maybe how we could see that the people who own the mansion did like to party.
Well,
just not with
Shannon,
children.
all of a sudden, Shannon, you've become a district attorney because you're going to show me evidence of something, and I object to your tone and where this case you're leading the witness.
Overruled.
Oh, Shannon, you are judge, jury, and executioner of this, more like SAS Digital.
Okay, here's the video.
Okay.
So, I guess there's no sound here.
Oh my God, boxing at a party? What is this, Skank Fest?
They had a boxing match. And then, I guess that's all it shows in this clip, but I'll show you pictures. Hold on.
Okay, well, this is a good...
Okay, so here, look, they were Super Bowl
Who is that, Tom
rings.
Brady?
They had Super Bowl rings. This is probably a former football player.
Right.
And they party, right?
Okay, so what is that a kid at the party?
Yeah, so what the kids did is they went through like the closets, the clothes, they went through all the rooms in the house, and this is one picture that one of the kids went into the room, one of the rooms, and took a picture of himself with all of their rings.
And then he posted it?
Yep.
Oh my God.
These
It's
kids are
almost
so
like
stupid.
you're snitching on yourself.
Yep.
You snitched on yourself real bad. Shannon, can I be honest with what's going on in my life right now? The building is redoing our heating system, and we had to take stuff out of the closets and push everything to the center of the room and all that. Do you think the workers, who I think are from the Eastern Bloc, I'm not accusing anybody, do you think they're having a rager in our apartment?
I don't know.
And they're using this heating system that they're installing as an excuse to have a rager?
Do you see any evidence of that? Like when you come home, do you see like the drinks were poured or your Super Bowl rings are in a different
I don't know,
space?
but I don't have any Super Bowl rings, first of all, Shannon. You know my background. But everything is already kind of a mess anyway. Do you think that's a good cover for a rager?
That's a great cover.
These workers, man. When will it be enough? It's like every day it's spring break for them. Is somebody having a more fun podcast behind us?
I think so.
God,
Not more fun, just louder.
yeah, it's just louder and more fanfare. What else, Shannon?
So there's that they are in the theater room. They posted this picture of them in the theater room.
Oh my God, they're posting pictures of breaking and entering.
So stupid.
Oh my God.
And then there's the fight.
There's
that
the
they had.
fighting. That's assault inside of a breaking and entering. I don't even know if there's criminal codes that cover this kind of stuff.
I saw in a different article. I don't see it here, but they posted a flyer like in days leading up to this saying like, go to this address.
Yeah.
Like all of these crazy fun things are going to happen. And so like they were advertising for this.
Right. So if it's a rager and somebody already breaks in, but I don't break in, it's just open and then I go, do I get convicted then?
Well, maybe it's just like the entering part of breaking and entering.
Right. Oh, I'm on the entering part
I
of it.
don't know if that in and of itself is a
Right.
law break though.
Yeah, but
don't
you're on
know.
somebody else's land.
Right. And
As
like
Washington would say.
like trying on their clothes and stuff.
Trying
having
on their
fights.
clothes is more of a fashion emergency, I would say. I don't know if that's a 911. Maybe that's an 811. It's not an actual emergency, but it's pretty significant. They said there were White Claws all over the place, Shannon.
That seems about right.
Did these kids have to get up and vape the next morning?
It says, the sheriff's office said an open house party is against the law. An open house party in a home you break into is a burglary.
Right. It's
So-
a burglary. These kids just feel like they're having fun. Is that a burglary? There's no ski masks on or anything like that. I mean, it's a little harsh for kids who are just trying to like hook up, and like have a rager and drink a White Claw, and maybe post it on social media so they could get follows. Are these kids thinking? These kids are supposed to be smarter than us when we were growing up,
They're so stupid.
but it just doesn't seem like they have a good grasp of the legal system when you post pictures of yourself doing a crime.
It also said that how they got in trouble was because they were blasting music.
Okay.
And there were large crowds seen outside drinking alcohol. So they did nothing to protect themselves in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, don't people have earbuds now, Shannon? Why did they need to be blasting music? And what on the flyer it said BYOB, which I know what that means. A BYOW. BYOW I thought was a LGBTQ. I thought it was a new gender. No?
I don't know, I guess.
Okay.
Is that bring your own White Claw? Is that
It's
what that means?
no, I think it's bring your own beer, bring your own weed.
Yeah. Wow. Bring your own White Claw works too.
BYO, BYOB, BYOW. Our fans know that because they bring their own beer and White Claws to every rager that they go to. How many ragers have you been to, Shannon?
I was actually just thinking about that. I don't know that I've ever been to a rager.
I've been to a couple ragers in high school. We didn't break in. The kids lived there, but it was a pretty great party scene. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever even been to like a house party.
Yeah.
I don't know if people do that. Well, I guess, yeah. Not in New
They
York
did
City.
when I was in high school, and it was fun because we would drink and we would get it in, and it was like a great time. But, we did not break into a strange house and stay there and celebrate it. I mean, couldn't they have taken pictures and done all this stuff at the after party?
That's a good point. But I guess if you're going to break into a place for a party, this is the place to do it.
Yes.
$8 million mansion.
$8 million mansion, Shannon? And what did the homeowners say who wanted to remain anonymous? Cowards, right?
I mean, the kids all have to know who they are because they must have seen pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But they basically are, they hate that I'm just trying to just smush it down here. But they hate the fact that they don't care about the monetary value of what happened so much.
Because they're millionaires.
Right. And it doesn't even say that things were necessarily taken, but things were trashed. And it said that just the idea that your space was violated, that is really hard for them to get past.
Do they have kids, the owners of the mansion?
I don't know. It's not mentioned. And you don't see them playing with like their toys or anything in the pictures.
It is mentioned in there, Shannon.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do they have kids?
Yeah.
Mike, do they have kids?
Oh, Shannon, that's it. You're such a process. You just reversed the questioning. They have a toddler.
Oh. Where is? I don't see that at all in this article.
Do you think he arranged this?
Oh, maybe.
The toddler?
Maybe.
It's not enough play dates, so he threw his own rager?
It could be.
Yeah. I think that we have some leads on this. This toddler was tired of just pretending, having an imaginary friend, so he had about 75 of them come over with their beers and White Claws, the BYOBs and BYOWs, and partied. This toddler could be a problem, I think. I blame him.
I'm on board with that.
Right.
Only because I don't remember seeing that in the article.
Shannon, you didn't do your research. And, that's why we're a great team. Where you fall short, I pick you up. And where I leave my coat, you leave. And it's all good, and it's all fun. And we're winding down now because of that last investigation was about partying. And we hope that you guys are partying in your lives right now, and but still getting stuff done and being efficient. So, for Shannon, any final thoughts, Shannon, on this or anything else we've covered?
No, I learned so much.
It was like a learning.
Yeah, I learned a lot about George Washington.
Right.
And yeah.
And our relationship, and about how committed you are to watching someone's coat, and how you tried to get a babysitter for the coat.
I did.
Before you left.
I tried to tag somebody else, and I didn't just abandon it.
And that was before you got drunk.
Right.
And then, but unlike the people in this article, you didn't do a rager. You went home, went to sleep, and then drank an IV and still didn't feel that good.
Right. And still kind of don't. And that's just after 5 drinks because I'm 700 years old.
All right, Shannon, you had the last word. For this very intimate family episode, for Shannon, I'm Mike Vecchione. We'll see you guys next week.